What's up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 31. Tonight's guest is a 405 OG, Mr. Murder Nova. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. So what's up? What you got? So you got your donk back there in the background.
Yeah.
Nice little touch.
What's that?
I said it's a nice little touch to the backdrop here. Have you had a chance to drive that a lot since Endgame?
Drive it a lot, yes. Race it a lot, no. We were on our way to a race down at Ennis, the same race that Daddy Dave went to on the radial with Goliath, and unfortunately, we blew the thing up before that happened. So we ended up having to, it wasn't that big of a deal, but we ended up having to put head gaskets and stuff like that on it. We got some sort of wiring issue that we just haven't figured out yet. So it kind of sucks to have that car and not be able to go out and stomp on it,
Yeah, I can imagine, man. So what's the status of the MPK car? What do we got going on there?
We don't really know the status of it. It's at Modern Racing right now, and they're getting it done. It's been there. This is week 3 now, and I hope to go pick it up next week.
Next week, okay, and then you'll probably start testing right away. If you can.
That's the plan. If we don't test right away, then we're going to miss that opportunity. So it's almost here. It's here. It's going to be here before we know it, and we know that. So we've just been trying to get the rigs ready, trying to make sure that we have anything that we may run across. This will be the first time I've competitively tried to race a Pro Charge and a Hemi, and so we still got a lot to learn.
Yeah, and talk about that. So switching combo, like what all goes into that from last year to this year?
Basically the car is not the problem. I see a lot of people out there who's like, the car just can't compete and all that. No, it wasn't the car. It was me, and I've said this in the past. This was our second complete year of MPK. And before that, we never raced any kind of sanctioned racing. We've said it in the past. We're just some dirtbag street racers who used to go and race 3-4 times a month, and we used to sit back and think, man, we race a lot, and we didn't. Once we decided to join the MPK, it was a lot. It was a toll on us, and we read a whole lot about Shawn doesn't care about winning anymore, and I see all that stuff, and can't really blame the people for thinking that, and it's not from a lack of trying, that's for sure, and it's damn sure not a lack of not caring. We want to win just as bad as anybody else out there. I gave what I thought was going to be a competitive combo every opportunity, and I just couldn't do it with it, So it's one of those things that the car ran the number. It ran the ET. It was fast. It was just very inconsistent, and we're pushing 82 pounds of boost through that small block, and to keep that thing together, it was a lot. And it was a lot more than what Phantom and I could handle, as a team. So, you live and you learn. If I would have came back the second season and just gave up on that combo, I would have never forgave myself, because I truly believe that was a combo worth keeping. And, obviously it didn't pan out.
Right. Yeah. And then the rules have changed a bit from last year to this year. So how is it going to affect you in your car with the new rules?
I honestly don't know. I feel like before anybody could fit a 36 on there, and I'm assuming that's what you're talking about is a 36, because that's really the only thing that I know of that could possibly affect me, because everything else is going to be different.
Right.
Everybody started on a 34.5, and before we could fit the 34.5s on the car, we all had 33.5s, so. And when everybody else had a 32.14, I had a 33.5, so it's like anything else, man. We're going to go out there and we're going to make it work, because that's what we got to run. Yeah,
for sure. And then going into this season now, they announced the 14 races. From what we see is probably final 14 races. But it starts off with 5 in a row to start the year. Are you prepared to do that? Have you come to the cost, the travel, everything? Like, you're gonna be gone for 5 weeks straight I'll be able to come home, fix your car, anything like that?
I mean, I don't think anybody can really be prepared for that. I mean, I'm sure somebody that has more money than me and has 3 spare engines in the trailer, but other than that, I think that all we can do is we can come up with whatever spare parts we can afford, whatever spare parts are available, and surround yourself with those. Obviously, we just bought the MH7 Proline Hemi, the new Bullet, and anybody that knows anything knows that Proline's customer service is, second to none. So hopefully, if we tear it up too bad, we can get some spare parts.
Yeah, and speaking of spare parts, I thought you might now when you heard. Did you hear today about the new team competition, and now they added the individual competition, individual championship?
I did.
Was the first thing to go through your mind, hey, I'm going to have to get some more parts because now I got to run my car hard on Friday and Saturday?
I think that was everybody's, but I think initially everybody as racers, whenever we hear new news or we hear the new rules that come out or we get the rules, I think it's us as racers, whatever it is, it's in us to just freak out instantly, and if you take a second and you think about it and you look at the rules, then there's probably not a whole lot to freak out about. And I don't believe that it's going to be like another race. I think it's going to be the same thing as it's going to be another half a race. You know what I mean? They're going to do the same thing that they did last year, and they're going to take possibly the top 8. I'm just spitballing here. It's not going to be a full class. Whatever it's going to be, even if it is going to be the top of the field, it's going to be the top of the field racing on Friday night, kind of like they had the grade 8 last year.
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, it makes sense. And then obviously this year you now are a captain for the whole team concept of No Prep Kings. What did it mean to be picked as one of the 7 captains?
I don't really know. It's not something that I wanted. I mean, honestly, I understand that it is a TV show, and it's a TV show first. So I understand why they wanted me to be a captain because let's be honest, if it became captain off of how well you did at NPK, I wouldn't even be in the running for it, and I understand that, fair enough. But they didn't really give me an option. They said I was going to be a captain. I said, yeah, I don't really want to be a captain. And they said, do you want to race at NPK this year? And I said, absolutely. I love it. This will be my 3rd season now. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, I have a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's organized. Like I said, I came from the street where there's no organization at all. And whenever you get something like this where I can bring my family to it, it's during the day. We're not up all night. I'm not dragging my wife in at 6 o'clock in the morning from a race. There's lots of stuff as I get older that appeal to me. And I really enjoy doing it, and that's pretty much what Sam told me, you're going to race MPK? And I was like, absolutely. And he said, all right, you're going to be a captain. And I said, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Seeing you don't want to be a captain, I got a bunch of captain questions for you, actually. So here we go. So from what I understand, you guys will be standing up as like 8 captains with podiums maybe or something, looking over the draft pool of guys. I'm
a big baseball fan, so I see this happen all the time. So, yes.
Do you think there'll be a little more added pressure when you're making your picks and looking at all the guys out there that you might be friends with or you might be teammates with, stuff like that?
Absolutely, man. I mean, this whole thing is designed for that. You know what I mean? They want to put people out of their comfort zone. And this is 100% what it's going to do. I mean, friendships are going to be made and friendships are going to be lost. It's at this point in our lives and at this point in our racing careers, they haven't really gave us an option for the friendship option. I feel like for me specifically, this season is do or die for me. I have to change some things this year. I have to do good this year. So I'm not going up there to look for new friends because I have plenty of friends, but I'm going up there looking for a team that can put together a win in this championship.
Yeah. Have you thought about your draft strategy at all? Like what's the most important thing for you? And you know what I mean? It's you could say it's the fastest guys. You could say it's the best program. You could say it's guys who will be teammates and good helpers. I mean, what's most important for you to be on your team?
Well, I mean, you can call it a team all you want. Everybody knows that racing is a single sport. I mean, we talk about it all the time, and we're Team 405. We're Team 405, and I will be Team 405 till I die. I will always be Team 405, and that doesn't change anything. That if Dom or Doc or Monza or any of the 405 guys come over and ask me for help, if I can do something to help them, absolutely, I'll do it. Am I going to be happy when anybody from the 405 wins? Obviously, yes. I want to see everybody from the 405 do well. Does that mean that I'm going to pick everybody from the 405? No. It is what it is. And like I said, this isn't really a team sport anyways. Whenever we talk team, it's about having each other's backs. It's about helping each other out. It's about strategizing together on what is best for you, or what's best for your combo, or what's best for your car, or talking about what the surface looks like. There's tons of things that go into teamwork. And at the end of the day, there's one dude out there holding his hand up. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's you can call it a team all you want, but Ryan Martin won all them championships, So anytime anybody's ever heard me say, that's right, Team 405 won, that's all, that's all in fun. Ryan won those championships.
Yeah. And then speaking of strategy, have you thought about if you would like to get first pick in the draft, or would you think 8th or 9th?
Yes, I've thought about all kinds of stuff, and honestly, I'm tired of thinking about it because I think it all goes out the window. You know what I mean? Nothing that I can put together sitting in bed just thinking every night. Nothing. As soon as I don't get first pick, then everything changes. Or say I get 5th pick. Yeah, I don't even know what would be the best. I feel like somewhere around 5th might be the best because, if you get first pick, it may not be the pick that everybody else wants anyways. Like the person that I want to pick first, he might be there on the 5th pick, Right. But if you go first, man, it's going to be a long time till that turn gets back around to you to pick again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's going to be
You're going to be standing up there for a cool minute waiting. And then by then, anybody that you had plans on getting besides that one person is gone.
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah. No, you get a similar answer. I asked Kai that last week, and Kai said, yeah, he'd like to have 4th pick, he thought. So, yeah, it makes sense. Get a couple picks in the top, however many.
Yeah.
Because you're right. First pick, man, you ain't picking for a long time. All the people you want on your team are probably going to be gone at that point. So, So let's switch gears a little bit. So most recently, you guys filmed in Australia. Went overseas over there. How was the trip? From what I saw on some of the videos, the Murder Nova fans really showed up there.
Yeah, no, we had a good time, man. Anytime you talk about being away from home for 5 weeks, it's a long time. And then you take away not really freedom, but any chance at going and doing everything that you want to do. We rode buses, we rode vans. I couldn't just go jump in my truck and, if I drive from Oklahoma City to Dallas and me and my buddies going, we're going to take my truck. And if you want to take your truck, then that's cool. I'll follow you in my truck. I always want that option to be able to leave if I need to, anything could happen, man, and I need to go, and if I don't have my truck there, then I'm stuck. And that's the way I felt the whole time that we were over there. I felt stuck. It was an amazing experience. We had a good time. The car hauled ass. It ran well. We had a lot of fun on the small tire. We met a lot of cool people over there, but 5 weeks is a long time. Yeah,
for sure. So, did your car get back yet?
It is not. It is not back yet. So that was probably some of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever been in, and then opening the container for the first time, especially I think it was Kai came up to me and was like, "Hey man, my car turned in the container and it got messed up." And I'm going, "Oh my God," you know? And so I go over and open mine and everything was okay with it. And honestly, we got lucky and didn't have anything, you know, aside from losing the hood on a pass. But you know, we'd have done that to ourselves anyways. That wasn't part of being in Australia. We'd have done that here in Oklahoma. But
yeah.
You know, other than that, everything went fairly well. We had minimal, even working on the car was minimal, you know. So it was honestly the first time that we had or got to work with the Hemi and the Pro Charger, you know, and honestly, it was an amazing experience, and it made me even more excited to do MPK, you know.
Nice.
Of course, with the MPK car, we're going to push it harder. We're going to be on a bigger tire. I'm sure we're going to break more stuff than what we did over there. You know, we weren't leaning on the car real hard, but the outcome was amazing, you know, and for the little bit of maintenance that we did, you know, everything went great.
Is the plan going forward when the car does get back to keep it on smalls for the streets?
That's what I would love to do. Yeah. And until we decide to go back to big tire on the street, you know, we don't really know. It's going to stay on smalls.
Nice. Now, so you guys were Team USA over there. You were with a lot of the other MPK guys, the Street Outlaws guys that you race against all the time. How was it hanging out and being teammates with a lot of those guys?
I'll be honest with you, man. It probably changed my life. Me and Scott has had, I mean, not really problems. I can't pinpoint one problem, but we've just never really been on the same page as far as it goes with racing, you know. Basically, I just did anything I could to nitpick at him, you know, and that's just the way it's always been, you know. And so we go over there, and I ended up riding with him in the van probably more than I rode with anybody else. It was kind of a first come, first serve type deal, you know, and Jeff Lutz was in the first van every time, you know, and if I didn't make it out there and that van filled up, you know, then a lot of times I was riding with Scott. And honestly, it was pretty awesome, you know. It changed my views on all those guys over there, you know. I never really knew the Swanstroms that well. I knew what I thought I needed to know about Scott, you know. And obviously me and Robin has had problems in the past, you know, and all of that is just gone, you know. It's one of those things that we all had the common goal once we got over there, and it didn't take long to actually consider all those guys teammates.
Right. Nice, man. That's cool. Are you going to be able to flip that switch now come MPK season?
I'll still have that mutual respect for them, you know, and you know, you never know, man. A couple of them guys could be on my team.
That's very true.
Know?
Yeah,
and I wouldn't have no problem picking Scott or Robin.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, honestly, man, it was good. And if we wouldn't have had the opportunity to go do Australia, I don't know how I would feel about doing MPK.
Oh yeah,
we're doing right now.
That makes sense.
So
yeah,
I think it warmed us up to the fact that when you have a common goal with somebody, anybody can be teammates.
Yeah, that's interesting. Overall, the competition you guys faced from the Australia guys, was it what you expected? Was it better, worse?
Honestly, man, the guys all had heart. They were up against something that they've never done before, you know. And when you take the team of what we had over there, look at everybody that went over there with us. Every one of those people will stay up all night long if there's something wrong with their car. Every one of us did everything that we needed to do to make these cars work and to get wins. You know, those guys, I mean, it was no prep-ish. You know what I mean? It wasn't. We've seen worse no preps, but we've also been to better no preps. You know, the tracks weren't terrible. And they thought that they were, you know, they're used to glued to the earth radial. So then you take the glued to the earth out of the equation, you take the radials out of the equation, you take the tree out of the equation and go off an instant green. And honestly, man, those guys just weren't ready, you know. it was very rare if somebody left on any of us. You know, I think it did happen a couple of times, but not very often. And then a lot of their cars were just swapped over from radials. And I don't know if they changed the suspensions. I don't know if they had much time to test, but I think if they keep at it, they have the same willpower as us, you know, because at the end of the day, they're racers too. And they wanted to win just as bad as we did. They just didn't have the experience. You give those guys the experience, and they'll start learning what they need to change on their cars, how to set their cars up, start getting any advantage that they can, like the tree, you know, like chopping the tree down. And you know, yeah, they're going to be all right.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Let's switch gears once again, and let's talk about what was on TV the most recent, and that was the 405 season. So after being the race master, we saw you the first time as a race master on America's List. Did you assume you were going to take the same role with the 405 show coming up, or were you told you're going to take that same role? How did that happen?
I mean, told is right, but no, I mean, it's not really something that I wanted when we were down in Texas either. You know, I just I got presented with it, and of course I said no. You know, I'm not really the guy that makes everybody follow the rules, man. I'm the class clown at the back that extorts the rules. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not the guy that blows the whistle and tells somebody that they're cheating. You know, that's just not me. You know, and Sam's convincing. You know, like he's done us right in the past, and I talked to him for a while, and I told him absolutely not. I can't do it. It's not me. You know, and a couple hours later, man, I was doing it. You know, so right. it is what it is. You know, so then once we got to the 405 show, I assumed, you know, that I was going to be, and that's why I think I kind of made it no race master as possible as I could. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I had the first talks that we had with the 405 guys. I let them all know. I said, look, I'm not even going to pretend that I'm y'all's leader. We're all grown ass men. We've all raced 3/4 of our lives. You know, we all know what to do. We all have a common goal. Let's just go out and do it. You know, and when it comes to, you know, like talking, you know, I'd initiate everything, but I was all for everybody talking, all for everybody standing up, all for if somebody has something that they want to get off their chest, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. You know, let's do this together, you know, and I feel like the 405 became closer because of it. You know, I mean, we're a pretty tight knit group right now. And I don't think even going to NPK and not being Team 405 is going to break that up.
Right. Yeah. And now, obviously, doing the race master on 2 different seasons, only 2 different seasons, you had to make one of the toughest calls that I've probably ever seen on Street Outlaws, and that was between Lopez and Doc. Yeah. Talk about that. Talk about how much of maybe a new respect you have for race masters that maybe you didn't have before, having to make a tough call like that and having it all on you.
I've always been close to the race master. I know what it you know. I know what kind of jobs it takes to do that, you know, and I've never said that it was easy, you know, and it's something that's part of the reason I didn't want the responsibility, you know, and I'd have loved to have called Doc to win. You know what I mean? I'd have gave anything but it wasn't the right call. He lost, you know, and that's all there is to it. You know, it really sucks that we had to go off of that video, you know, because obviously it wasn't clear. There was tracers. You can 100% not go off of headlight tracers. You just can't do it. Doc's headlights are inset. His are out on the bumper. You know, you can't go off of that. The only thing that you can go off of is the body of the car, you know, and his body of his car was across the line before Doc's was, you know. It just sucks that Doc came so close to jumping the race before that he sat and watched that Honda leave. Yeah. You know? And if he wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have even been a close race anyways. You know, right. Doc's car was hauling ass, and we all knew that Doc's car was fast. We knew at the beginning of the season Doc's car was fast. We just weren't real sure if he was, you know, pussyfoot. Can you say that? Pussyfooting around with it.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, Murdo.
We weren't real sure, but he ended up finding it, and there at the last, he came on strong, man, and has arguably, one of the fastest cars in the 405 right now,
Yeah.
And I love Doc, everybody can say whatever. I read some of the craziest things, that Shawn screwed Doc over because he doesn't like him, and that's just crazy. I would have loved to have called Doc to win that, and unfortunately I had to do the right thing. And there's nobody that will ever change my mind that wasn't the right call that I made.
Right. And it was cool for me seeing Kamikaze, Farm Truck and Asian back, Reaper back. What did it mean to have those guys back on the show? Did you have a part? Did you have a hand in getting those guys back? Like, how did that go down?
Yeah. I went and I talked to Sam and I told him, if we're going back to street type cars, I think Farm Truck and Asian need to be involved in it. They left the show a lot of the reason that they couldn't compete anymore. And Farm Truck's not the guy that's going to cut that farm truck up and make it into a race truck. He still enjoys being able to do what he does with it, and then cruise it around and drive it and it still be somewhat streetable, So, you know what they say, you got to keep up with the times or you get left behind. And that's kind of what happened, and so whenever I brought that up, I feel like Sam was all for it, and we went and talked to them. And at first, whenever we went and talked to them, they said, no, we can't race with you guys, and I said, but hang on, we're not racing our big tire cars anymore. And,
right.
and I've always liked Farm Truck and Asian, and they've always been a huge part of the show, love them or hate them. They help make the show what it is, every one of us did, and it sucks whenever, the original cast gets broke up, but that's life,
Right, for sure. And then talk about how the atmosphere was different from the previous 2 seasons of doing cutthroat America's List qualifying to you all racing together against other teams. Just talk about the difference in atmosphere and if it was better.
Well, I mean, it just totally changed, whenever you race the same guys over and over and over and over, it doesn't just get old for the viewers at home. It gets old for us too. So basically it turned what we loved to do into a job, and so we didn't look forward to showing up. We didn't look forward to doing list racing. We didn't look forward to going to that same beat up racetrack road, that we know we can go lay down, mid 4-second passes anytime, like it got to where it wasn't fun, so we all sat down, we all talked about it. And as a group decided to, take it back to real streetable cars, and I don't just like to race. I love everything about cars. I'm a car enthusiast. I like car shows. I like building cars. I like racing cars. I like all of it. So when you talk about being able to cruise your hot rod around and then race it, and then if you want, cruise the thing home, put your family in the car, air conditioner, but still makes 1,500 horsepower or so, it doesn't get any cooler than that.
Right. Yeah. No, I would say it was refreshing to see the switch up. You could tell you guys enjoyed it more. There was more laughing. There was, it seemed like it was a nicer environment.
It was for sure. It was for sure. And we all had a good time. Like, I don't think any of us were truly that happy racing in a long time, and whether or not we keep that show up or we go back to the big tire stuff, it was a refreshing change that I feel like we all needed.
Yep. Agreed. Shawn, if you want, there's a lot of people on, but we'll take some questions from some people watching. So if you got any questions for Shawn, put it in the chat box. I'll watch out too. While we're waiting for a minute here, over your life of street outlaws, racing on the street and racing on the track, is there anybody that you really love lining up against to try to kick their ass?
I really like messing with Scott Taylor, And Scott, I love you, man. I promise I do. Oh, look at Dave. Put a bunch of hearts up there.
Oh, did he?
But Scott he's a great racer and he's a good competitor, but I just always felt like I could get in his head, and you could tell he didn't like it because he's always such a good dude, and just like when we were down in Texas at what's that?
Scott's wife.
Oh, hi Heather. Scott's wife's awesome too, by the way.
Yes. Yep.
She is one of the coolest people I've ever met, and she made our trip over in Australia so much more fun. So, but just like I don't even know if we can talk about it, but I raced him in the small tire cash days, and right before we became buddies, and it just it's always a good time to race him, because he gets so mad at me. But he tries to be as professional as he possibly can, and I can tell I get under his skin, but he doesn't like to show it,
Yeah.
Really anybody, man. I don't have a certain person out there that I like to beat up on, or somebody that, I obviously haven't beat in a long time, just like anybody that races Ryan, you throw the kitchen sink at it and hope it sticks, and I talked to him a lot about this, and he has it right now where he's consistent and he's fast. And let's just say, I'm not a statistics guy, but let's just say 7 out of 10 people that race Ryan go up to the line and know how fast he is and know how consistent he is, and they beat themselves.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yep.
So, hey, and I'm one of the statistics on that. Because I always say, no, it's going to take this to outrun him. And that usually doesn't go down the track.
Yeah.
Not for me anyways, So I had an opportunity last year to outrun him, and we fat-fingered the tune whenever I was putting the tune in it. And I fat-fingered it and shut off the shifter and never shifted out of first gear. He spun the tires, turned sideways, lifted, and he still outran me. So it's
what
just
do
the way it goes,
Right.
So.
I had a couple of statistics I was going to share with you, Shawn, that I was looking up most recently, and team attack. That was your first full season of No Prep Kings. Did you know that you were actually 4th that season in win percentage on team attack?
Oh wow, we did pretty well in team attack. We went to the finals.
Yeah,
we co-won with Ryan in that one.
Yep.
And then I broke in the burnout box against Stinky Pinky in the finals of that one. So, and then I think we went to the finals again. I don't know, but what's crazy, man, is we won a lot more that season, and we blew the motor up every 10 to 12 passes. The season after that, we got a pretty good handle on the motor, and then just couldn't make it out of first round. Right. We did have some tough first round draws. Like I'm obviously terrible at picking, but we had some races that we should have won, and we just didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it, because the car was faster, which how it is. Everybody gets faster every year, and this season's not going to be any different. So
for sure. Ricky had a question here. It says, Shawn, how much difference do you think the 34 is going to make over the 36? Will it tighten the field up, Shawn, you think? You think it'll be more competitive?
Will it tighten the field up? Nah. The guys who are fast on a 36 are going to be fast on a 34.5. It's if you've gotten anything from MPK, it's the trend of people who are fast are going to be fast. Doesn't matter what combination Kai runs, man, he's going to be fast. You know what I mean? Swanstrom, look at him. He swapped combos in the middle of the year, and was still fast. Fast people know how to be fast. And that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
Yeah. Speaking of Swanstrom, I had another stat I was going to share with you that you can hold over Swanstrom's head if you want, is that you're 3-0 against them in No Prep Kings.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we actually knew that. I tell him all the time,
Nice.
So, yeah, we did well against them, Big Country came out at the first event that he started talking smack to me in Georgia. And he came over to the staging lanes and just started talking all his grudge talk, and I don't get intimidated by that talk like a lot of other guys do, and just clam up and don't say anything. So I started giving it back to him, and I started letting him know, hey, I'm still in this, I understand you're the first round loser, but I'm not, you're going to come over here whenever I'm fixing to go into second round and talk all this shit. I said, what happened? You're out. So, I got a lot of respect for them, and they've done what it takes to do well. But, we've always been on, and Swanstrom's one of those guys that Team 405 always says, we're going to win this race, whatever it takes. We were on fire in Idaho, and drove around him while we were on fire, and it was stupid not to lift. But I was right there with him, and it was Swanstrom. I wanted to win, So unfortunately, we couldn't make it to the next round after that, but it didn't matter. He didn't either, and that's the way we looked at it,
Yep, for sure. Do you ever set any personal goals or, expectations for yourself when you come into this will be your third No Prep King season?
Win, like I can't have another season. Like I'm all in this season. I spent the money where I needed to spend the money. I got the parts, that I could afford, and we've got to make it happen this year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm not seeing too many more questions here, Shawn. So first off, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight, Shawn. Really appreciate it, man. Been watching you obviously since the first episode of the 405 show back in the day when you guys used to race like twice an episode, and it would usually be Chuck versus Varley or something like that. So it's come a long way, man. So
that's back when we used to think that we raced a lot too,
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you coming on, man. It means a lot to me. I wish you the best of luck this year. Thanks to Phantom for hooking this up, and I'll see you at the first race in Ohio, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Hey, I'm a fan of yours, and I appreciate what you do with all the statistics and stuff. Good or bad, obviously you've got no good statistics for me, but we love it all the same. You know what I mean? Like it's cool that there's somebody out there that cares enough to put together and do all that work that you do to give people the stats, So
appreciate that, man.
I thought that the Kai and Lizzie stats were really cool last week.
Cool,
whenever you were talking about them racing each other and they were all tied up, that's pretty cool. So a lot of the stats that people don't even realize, is pretty cool.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it.